Thanks for the support as a channel member, Ant Chipman. No, okay, fair enough. But in all fairness, how was I supposed to know I wasn't supposed to sack every member of staff that was already at the club? They were awful. I didn't know you'd promised not to get rid of them all. Did you see how terrible they were? Goodness me. Well, if you want a closer look, you should head to lollujo 2, where the first extra homework came out today, showing you how I got rid of all the staff and then got new ones and then signed a few. Yeah, that was shameless. Sorry. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Holiday Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have our first 2 games of the new season. We're at home against Villarreal C, which feels like a big game for our first match because Villarreal are one of our big local rivals. I know their C team theoretically should be beatable, but that feels like a tough one. And we're also away against the first terrible mispronunciation of the series, Rayo Ibensi. Maybe. Since you were last with me, we have been trying to put together a squad capable of, the plan is just to not get relegated. I think we're probably going to do a little bit better than that. If we have a look at the season preview, the media think we're in line for a push towards the playoffs. The teams we're facing today, Villarreal C, are actually not very good, apparently. Neither are Rayo Ibensi. So really, both of these teams are teams we should be very capable of beating. We have brought in a few players. None of them are good enough to make it into that Dream 11, which seems a little bit harsh. Oh, actually, I didn't realise I'd scrolled that. I thought those two were... No, they're not. We haven't got anyone really, really good. But I'll show you who we've brought in. The most significant signing of all is the director of football that we've managed to bring in, because we basically sacked all of the staff we had at the club, put them out for job applications, all that kind of stuff. Got the usual level of fairly rubbish. That's the kind of level. They're all an upgrade on what we had. Everyone was like 1s, 2s and 3s for their attributes, so we got rid of. But most of the ones we brought in are at that kind of level. But the director of football that we've got, and I promise, and if you don't believe me, you should have been watching live on Twitch. You can go and check the Twitch VOD. You can go and check the highlights on the lollujo 2. But this guy actually applied for the job. Look at him. Look at him. Use your eyes and look at him. My goodness, what a man Romeo Jozak is. And we kind of, off the basis of this, sort of just left him to it because he knows better than me. He should be the manager. I'm just Romeo's puppet. And this is what he's done. He's brought in a few, actually, Ignacio Pearce was here when I arrived, and Emilio Fernandez was signed by Mrs. Wearmouth before Romeo arrived. But Emilio Fernandez is a right back with 3 stars of potential, 4.5 stars. Sorry, 3 stars current ability, 4.5 stars of potential. He's a 20-year-old Spanish right back who insisted on having the number 8 shirt. He's 6'4", and you can't teach that. He's previously off Huesca, and he's pretty decent. So not bad for Mrs. Wearmouth's first signing, and then it was all over to Romeo from there. We've got Javier Lorente, who's a 35-year-old Spanish centre-back. This one I kind of pushed through because I wanted some experience in the squad. He's only 5'9", but it's Spain. How important can being tall be? He's got 3 stars of current ability. He's obviously not going to improve because he's an old man, but he does have very valuable experience, especially at this level. Probably the best signing on the player front was Pavel Florek, who's a Polish goalkeeper, 26 years old, 3 stars current ability, 4 stars of potential. He's done a little bit of a tour around the Spanish leagues since leaving Poland. But importantly, he has been playing regularly at this level and the level above. And he's one of our better players now he's come in. And then we finished things off signing a striker on loan. Pequez is 24 years old. He's on loan from Torre Peragil. We're not paying anything towards him. He's reasonably quick. He's 6'2", and we only had 1 usable striker before, so we kind of needed him. And all of that has actually maxed us out on our budgets. We don't have a lot of money. We transferred we moved the transfer budget we had into wage budget, and even then, if we bring in these 2 players on loan, we're going to go over the wage budget. I don't think we actually can bring them in on loan now. I'm waiting to see what happens, because I think the registration window is closed. We can register free transfers at any time, but I think if we actually try and complete these loans, they're not going to register until January. So we might end up cancelling both of those and maybe be able to bring in 1 or 2 more free transfers. So we're not completely done for transfers yet. And the squad certainly isn't finished. We need at least 1 more midfielder. We need at least 1 more striker. We're a little bit weak all the way down the right-hand side. Farinos will be playing centre-back. So Fernandez is our only decent option at right-back. So it's not a great squad, but the important thing is, as an English manager at an English-owned club playing in Benidorm, the most important thing is that we are going to play a 4-4-2 with a target man, because England, yes, come on then. And this is the team for the first game of the season against Villarreal C, who, remember, Villarreal, one of our local rivals. So albeit their C team, we are going to want to beat them. And this is our first game at the Estadio Municipal Mick Powell, and our 11 is Florek in goal, one of the new boys. At left back, we have Manuel Camino. We'll get to know these boys as the save goes on. One of the many Ivans we've got at the club, Ivan Farinos, plays at centre back. He's 6'4". Obviously, we'll be utilising him at set pieces. He can also play fullback on either side as well, and is our captain. And he's partnered by another Ivan, just Ivan. We've got several of those. And then at right back, the previously mentioned Emilio Fernandez. So we've got some height from both of those two boys. Then in midfield, on the left, it's Iñaki Milanese, one of a couple of Argentinians we've got. On the right, it's another Ivan Fakal, who was previously identified as our best player. But as time has gone on, it's moved into being Farinos. And then our only proper central midfielder, Paul Quay, plays alongside a converted winger in the shape of Joel Ocon, who really doesn't fit in the role that we're using him for, but we don't have another option. And then up front, we have the other Argentinian, Ignacio Pierce, playing as a target man, partnering the youngster, he's 24, he's not that young, who we've got in on loan, Pequez. I have no idea if we're going to be any good. We're just going to submit the team and see what happens. Pequez isn't fit. As you just saw as well, the game wants me to play a back 5, which I am absolutely going to refuse to do every time I'm asked to do it. But let's just get this team in and, fingers crossed, do a football. I imagine this is all set up wrong. Yeah, we don't want extended highlights. Camera looks right, but we probably just want to bump the match speed up a little, make sure sounds are off. Director is, I had to forget director, TV view, camera low. Zoom high. That's more like it. Highlights. We can go you know what? We'll go director. We normally go behind goal. We'll probably end up changing that, but for now we'll go director until the first really hideous. Oh god, that's slow. We'll go 2 steps up. I haven't had to set up a new save for a while. Is that 2? That might be too fast. Maybe the kickoff was just a little bit slow. And now it's Quay. Look how good those home kits look in the match engine. If you haven't ordered one yet, the link is down in the description. They're available for order until the 1st of August. Once they're gone, boys and girls. We're doing one big batch order. So if you want one, you should order one before the 1st of August. And as you can see, they look absolutely beautiful in the match engine. And I know I've had lots, I have heard you. There's lots of people who have been asking for how do I get the database set up, because I put the link to the database and all of the assets and things in the description of yesterday's video, but there were no instructions. So there is a video that's going to be coming probably at the weekend explaining how to get the kits and the logo and all that stuff, the database all set up so you can play along in your own save. Obviously, there are some of you who already know how to do it. There are tutorials online that can help as well, but if you want Kev to take you through it step by step and hold your hand, that video will be coming at the weekend, so you'll just have to be patient for a couple more days, I'm afraid, and then we'll get that so you can all get up to speed and play along. But we are attacking down the right-hand side with Fakal, and he's had a shot. We've got our several strikers hovering around in the middle that he could have decided to play it across for, has the shot and has won a corner. Remember, we have got numerous big boys. It's going to be Ocon to take, looking for the far post, tries to find one of the big boys, and unfortunately it was Farinos with the header that goes over. But we are on the attack still on the left-hand side, big, deep cross towards the target man, Pearce. And, oh, it's wonderful being back in non-league, the lower leagues. You don't get goals like this when you're managing Manchester City in the Premier League. It's a wonderful thing to see. It all starts with a throw on, this cross from Milanese, and then Pearce just heads it up in the air. I think the goalkeeper's collided with the defender, and it's kind of spooned off both of them and ended up in the back of the net. It's wonderful. They've got a defender called Zomazom, which is also pretty cool. But it's 1-0 to Holme. Start as you mean to go on. As you can see, the Estadio Municipal Mick Powell is packed to the rafters, and everyone is having a lovely old time. Ignacio Pearce is the first ever goal scorer in the history of this version of Holme FC. And there's Pequez from range. I mean, if he scores that, he becomes something of a hero for us as well. But unfortunately, his shot, I mean, he never should have been shooting from there. He was a long way out and he's not very good. So might have to have a little word with him and maybe discourage those kind of antics. Good to see that Villarreal have got an Ivan in their team as well. We did have a little bit of a discussion on Twitch last night about why everyone is called Ivan. Is it a really, really Spanish name? I would need explanations down in the comment section, but it is Villarreal attacking again, and they've made it into our penalty area really rather easily, and there is their equaliser, and we've not defended that very well at all. I would like to think, based on how we've done our summer, that our defence is our strength. We've really focused in on improving our back four, our goalkeeper, making sure that we can build from the back. And I mean, that's just poor from all involved. All four defenders and the goalkeeper need to take a little bit of the blame there, because that was rubbish from everybody. And it's 1-1. And yeah, definitely things to work on. Villarreal playing a flat back six doesn't really help either. But 1-1 at half time. I have no real expectations. The board are looking for us just to not finish bottom. The fans are looking for us to just not finish bottom. Obviously, we want a little bit better than that. The media think we could be in with a playoff push. I have no idea. I've never managed in the lower leagues in Spain. I have no idea how hard or how easy this is going to be. The fact it looks like we've given away a penalty right at the start of the second half is alarming. And it's going to be the Villarreal player to take against Florek, our fancy pants new goalkeeper. And we are now 2-1 down. And this is not how today was supposed to go. This is not part of the script. We don't really have a plan B or any other options off the bench either. We've barely, I mean, I still don't think our first 11 is where I want it to be. We certainly don't have players to come on to change the match. So this is problematic, because as we saw, Villarreal C are one of the worst teams in the league, according to the media prediction. If we lose at home to them on the opening day, it's going to be a long, hard season. Oh, it all started so... We looked good early on, but I guess you then apply the context of it was an absolute fluke goal. Looking at the XG, they've doubled ours. We've only had 2 shots on target in the entire match. We've not looked very good at all, have we? And that flat back six is just completely cancelled out our attack. Pequez has been absolute dross. We're going to bring Gabriel Vidal on, who is a young 17-year-old with a lot of potential. So hopefully a new hero, potentially. How many substitutions are we allowed? 5 substitutions. Right. We don't really have another central midfielder, which is not ideal. This guy, you know what? He thinks he's a defensive winger. He's going to play central midfield and he's going to like it. And what's this guy? He's a left winger. He's not terrible, is he? But Milanese, I guess he can play central midfield. Maybe we bring him in there. We're basically just abandoning the idea of having a midfield here. I think we're going to push these 2 forward and see what happens. We're on a balanced mentality. What kind of perversion is that? Goodness me. Demand more. We've gone to control possession, or positive. It's not control. Did it used to be called control? I feel like it used to be called control. We've got nothing on this bench. Is dross. We've got another left winger. Why have we got so many left wingers? I mean, just for the sake of making a substitution, we'll change a defender. And I guess another one. There you go. We made all 5 changes. We've not looked very good in this second half at all. Can we demand more again? We've gone attacking now. And I think we are losing at home in our first match against a local rival. And that's not ideal. Really hope we do better in the second match. Well, little bit of transfer news in between the two matches. A big piece of transfer news number one. We've sold a player, Tristan Mitchell, who was our backup goalkeeper. We've managed to get some money for 2.1k. I mean, it's not massively significant, but it does get him off the wage budget, which does allow us a little bit of new manoeuvrability, although not a lot because we've already pretty much used it up with another player potentially coming in. But we have signed a player on loan as well and been able to register him, so that's crucial. We can register loans at any point. Edu Serrano is a ball-winning midfielder. We needed a ball-winning midfielder. We now have one. He can cover at left-back for us as well, but he is in primarily to play in that central midfield role. And we've potentially got another loanee coming in as well, who would be a centre-back to come in to the team, who would take us up pretty much to our maximum spend. I don't know if we go for him or go for a striker. That's a thing to consider before tomorrow's video, which, of course, if you want to see that play out in real time, come and watch the stream tonight on Twitch, 7 o'clock. We'll be playing through the in-betweeny bits that will take us to between the end of this episode and the start of tomorrow's episode, live on Twitch tonight. And then you'll have the highlights on lollujo 2 tomorrow morning if you don't want to watch on Twitch. And if you don't want to do either, just watch tomorrow's YouTube video. I'll recap it all there anyway. Multiple ways to watch. So, with the transfers, just the one change to the team that lost so pathetically in the last match. Serrano comes straight into play in central midfield. Other than that, it is the same 11. We have gone to a positive mentality because we're not cowards. So, obviously, we're going to go to a positive mentality. And hopefully, we can look a little bit more useful in this match. We're showing off the beautiful away kit as well. The away kit is a very nice kit. The Twitch chat between the two, because we are recording the YouTube videos live on Twitch as well, the chat did mention between the two matches that there was a slight issue of not being able to see the numbers on the back of the home shirt. I'm going to try and get that resolved, but it looks like we can see the numbers on the away shirt. So that's something at least. And there is new boy Serrano trying to get a counter-attack up and running. We've got a 3-on-2 here. Release it down the right-hand side. Why have you gone to the left? We've still got a man over on this side. I mean, it doesn't matter. We've scored a goal. We knew what I mean, I'm glad he did it. It was always part of the plan. But that was a lovely counter-attack. Pequez with his first goal for the club. And we are 1-0 up. We went 1-0 up in the last game. I don't know why he doesn't come out to the right-hand side here. I guess we did have a man over on that side as well. But he just looks... We had so much space on the right. But we have... I mean, it's a brutal counter-attack there. Lovely work from all involved. That puts us 1-0 up. Very, very pleasant. Which puts us up to... Oh, what's this? We've now picked up an injury to Fakal, one of our best players. It is one of the few positions where we've got a reserve player. We have got Jorge who can play there. So we'll see how Fakal gets on, but we'll probably make that change at half-time if Fakal can make it all the way through till half-time. But in the meantime, he's chasing back there, trying to get a tackle in. He's our right winger. I don't know why he's the one doing the defending, but Serrano, what a difference having an offensive midfielder in there has made, because that was exactly the same kind of cross that Villarreal scored from in the last match, and this time Serrano was in there where there was nobody before to make the interception. Transfer success, everybody. We've got a free kick. It's Milanese. He's hit the post. Now Fakal carrying that knock, plays it back to Faranos. Just get it back in the area, somebody. No? Fair enough. Don't bother. I didn't want to score a second goal anyway. One's plenty. We just need to win the football match. Right, we are going to make that half-time change. Jorge can just come on and slot straight in there. He is a right winger. Probably feels a little bit hard done by to not be in the starting 11. He's a similar sort of ability to the rest of the starters. Just let down by the fact that he's got an even better player than him who plays in his position. But it is the team whose name I don't know how to pronounce with a free kick at the start of the second half, and it's taking exactly the same shape as the previous match. Could say we controlled the first half is generous, but we opened the scoring, and then the second half starts, and we just let them have a goal. I mean, it's a good free kick, but it was a long way out, wasn't it? You've got to back the goalkeeper to do a little bit better than he has there. feel a little bit disappointed that we're conceding a goal like that. And I mean, look at the match stats. It's been a bit of a nothing game. We're going to offer some encouragement. Remember, these 2 opening matches have been against 2 of supposedly the worst teams in the division. And we have not looked very good. We're going to bring the youngster Vidal on. We're going to play Pequez as a poacher. So we're going to go poacher, advanced forward, change things up slightly there. Serrano is tiring. So we're going to bring Ocon on in there, which means we're kind of sacrificing having a ball-winning midfielder. But Serrano, we don't want to break him. He looks like he's going to be an important player for us, and he's not match fit. And now we've got a couple of tired Ivans at the back. So a couple of easy substitutions to make there. Fernandez should be able to play centre-back. So we'll just move him across. Cabrera can come on to play right-back. And now we just have a final push. Come on, boys. I would love to pick up my first win. Please don't concede late. Now I've put a right-back at centre-back just to mess with me. There is Fernandez making the clearance. And there is Pequez dropping a little bit deeper and plays it back to Fernandez. Ball over the top, looking for Vidal, but can't find him. And now Jorge can't make contact either. We've massively weakened this team with the substitutions. We might have to rethink the whole making 5 subs while we don't have any kind of squad depth. It is weakening the team much more than it maybe necessarily needs to. But we've got away with it there again. Fernandez looks a little bit out of his depth at centre-back. He is tiring as well, which probably isn't ideal. But Vidal has done well to win a header, and it's Milanese on the left-hand side. Have we got one more attacking move in? It's Milanese with the cross. Pequez with the free header, and there's the goal from Pequez, his second of the game. And that should be enough for us to pick up our first win of the series, which is, goodness me, takes some of the pressure off. That celebration was more out of relief than anything else. Milanese, it's a beautiful cross from him, and Pequez is there. And I mean, eyebrows were raised when we brought him in, but he looks like he's got a few goals in him. And there's Jorge looking to add a third, but his effort goes high and wide, and we just need to hold on now. There's 5 minutes of time added on. We've only played 1.5 of them. Please don't let them back into the game. I'd love 3 points. 4 points from these first 2 matches we'd absolutely take. We would have taken that before we started. And Florek, I mean, never in doubt. Never question the man. Just very confident, competent goalkeeping from him there. And he's just taking his time, wasting a little bit of time, which is good to see. Ball over the top to the youngster Vidal, who shoots from range. I mean, if he scores from there, he becomes a club legend. He already became the youngest player in the history of the club, coming off the bench in the previous match. Keep an eye on that boy. He is going to be the future of Holme FC. But for now, we're only concerned with the present, and the present leaves us in 9th place in the league. How did I get a loss and a win to add up to 4 points before? It's 3 points. I know it's 3 points. And we did a football, which is absolutely ideal. And if you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.